This is Jim at Smoke and Fire on Xtreme Barbecue, and today we're grilling up our peppers, and we've got our rotisserie chicken, and we are ready to plate everything and serve. Come and enjoy.
It's time for Xtreme Barbecue, presented by Smoke and Fire, where you can find everything you need to master the grill. Think family, think friends, think Smoke and Fire.
Hey everybody, it's Todd Lebo on Sports Radio 810 WHB for our weekly Xtreme Barbecue segment with Jim Cotty from Smoke and Fire. And as you can see, I've gotten out of the studio and I've come down to Smoke and Fire at 151st and 69 Highway. They've been responsibly open for a few weeks, and it smells better down here than the studio. So I decided to come down, but I've got my mask on, and Jim and I are socially distant. They've been open for the well-being of everyone. They ask you to wear a mask inside. If you don't have a mask, they've got some masks up there. They've got hand sanitizer. We're trying to keep everybody healthy and safe when they're in Smoke and Fire shopping. Father's Day is coming up next weekend. They've got great specials going on, and they've still got the raffle where you can win the 22-inch Weber kettle grill and the charcoal. Jealous Devil charcoal. I said it right this time. You get an 8-pound bag of that, and it's great stuff. So come on down to Smoke and Fire and get signed up for that. And we're going to do our grilling segment down here, socially distant. Jim, it's nice to see you face to face as opposed to being the little guy in the box on my Zoom. We're going to have some fun today cooking some good stuff. We're going to start it off. We've got some peppers, and we're going to have some chicken. So what are we going to do here with these peppers? We're
going to grill them like we always do. These are the rainbow peppers. These are made a company called Sweet Point. They are a sweet little mini bell, and they grill up fabulous, real easy to do. First thing we're going to do, we're leaving the head on, but we're taking the tip of the stem off. So we're just going to cut those. And different varieties of peppers are different, but if you look, there's kind of a bulb and then there's a little bit of a indent, a ridge. A lot of times if you'll follow that ridge down, it's going to give you an easier trim to where you've got your vein right there where you can get to it. So play with the pepper on your first one. If that isn't the right way to cut it, turn and twist. And what we're doing is we're making little boats out of these. So we're getting the seed out. Bad spot there, we'll get rid of two.
Cheese boats. Everybody loves a cheese boat, right?
Pepper cheese boats are even better.
It's got a cheese delivery system we're working on.
That's right. This is a cheese delivery system.
And we like this size of pepper because you can't have a huge bell pepper full of cheese. That's maybe too much cheese.
Never too much cheese. Never too much cheese. And a big bell cooks really nice, so it's not a bad thing to do. You can do any pepper you want. I like to do serranos. They've got a little more bite to them, but they grill up really nice, good flavor. All right, now what we're going to do is take these peppers that we've prepped, pop them into our bowl, and we are using Leslie Elizabeth, the ultimate garlic, and just a light drizzle of that. And if you leave the garlic in the bottom, don't shake it up, you can recharge these. So you can take grapeseed oil and make another batch, maybe even two, let it set for about 3-4 weeks back in the pantry. And just a light drizzle, doesn't need a lot. We're going to toss those. And then I like to get them all turned one direction so we get an even coat, and then we'll turn them back the other. Today we're using Kick Butt, their hickory seasoning. This comes out of Arizona. It's got a nice flavor, a little bit of pepper to it, but not hot. But pepper on pepper is not a bad thing.
Once again, every time we do something like this, it's always a little extra level of flavor. It's
Exactly.
One thing to have the garlic oil on there and then the pepper itself, but just a little more hint of flavor really kicks it up.
It makes all the difference, and it just, what you're doing, what Chef Richard calls layering flavors. So right now I'm just turning my peppers, come back and redust them, And basically those are going to go back into the fridge until we're ready to serve, but they are going to go onto the grill at the next to the last step. So it's not a hard thing to do, but now that we've got our peppers prepped, pop them in the fridge and we'll be back and do our chicken.
All right, so we're going to put those in the fridge, Jim, and before we get to the chicken here. And that's one of the smart things about cooking is you kind of do it in order and get yourself where you can kind of do it in more than one thing at once. How long can those stay in the fridge, or just a little while?
Indefinite time. It's really, the longer they set, they are going to pull a little more flavor in, so it doesn't hurt to have it sit longer. Typically, maybe by the time you do your prep and get everything done, they're going to be in the fridge maybe 45 minutes to an hour and a half, something like that.
Cool. All right, now how about this chicken?
Chicken's awesome and easy to do. We're going to do a little different twist. We're doing a rotisserie chicken. What we're also going to do is butterfly it. We're going to open it up, and some people call it spatchcocking when you're grilling it. People kind of know that term now. This is just simply split and open. We're not going to do a true spatchcock. So I'm just leaving it on the paper. Makes it a little easier to prep. And so this is our breast side. We're going to flip him over so that the back side is up. And we're going to take our poultry shears. And we've got different snips and shears here at the shop, so if you need some, this makes it easy. But just start at the tail and lift that tail section up, and we're basically just holding him and walking that shear right down his backbone. We're going to go all the way up out of the neck cavity, go to the other side and do that again.
As always down here at Smoke and Fire, they've always got the right tool for the job. Nothing more frustrating, whether you're working on your house or you're trying to prep a meal, to not have the right tool to get it done.
Tools are critical in life. And the right tool is the absolute happy point. So now we've cut out one last piece of skin in the way here, our backbone. And frugal people can save that. You can make a stock out of it, so it's just whatever you want to do. We'll set that off to the side. Next step is we're going to make him pretty and kind of trim him up. So we're going to lay the cavity open, and there are just a few rib bones here that we're going to trim down. We're going to cut off any excess skin.
Don't cut all the skin off. That's some flavor.
There's a lot of flavor left there, but anything out of the ordinary, we're going to get out of the way. And on the tail side, there's just a nice flat lot there that we're just going to trim off that excess. That way it will rotisserie a little happier and cleaner. What we're doing is getting it ready to go onto the rotisserie, and having it trimmed up makes that a little bit easier to do. Next step is we've got a breastbone here from the inside out, and we're going to take our chef's knife and we're going to do kind of a medium. I'm going to just light cut and split down through that a little bit. I don't want to take it all the way open. And then we're going to break that, and it'll open up like so. We're leaving that intact because we're going to run our spit up through there. Next thing we need to do is grab our soaked skewers, and they're going to help hold him open. So we're going to come in here just underneath that wing joint, and we're going under through the bone.
Those are just soaked in water to keep them flexible?
Flexible, and also to keep them from burning.
Yes.
2 points.
Kind of like when we plank, we usually soak the boards so they don't catch on fire.
And so I'm running that all the way, it's actually kind of up here under the wing, and then we're just going to break that off where I don't need it, and our shears will come in handy because it's wet. Now we're going to do the same thing down here on the bottom side on where the thigh meat is laying open.
You're just going through, right through the meat on that.
Going through the meat and under the bone, so everything's going to tie together, and it just keeps it stretched out. So it makes it, instead of it flopping all over the place. Makes it a little easier to do.
A more even cook as well.
Well, the whole idea of the spatchcock is it does give us a more even surface temperature. So it makes it a little faster cook, and it makes it also a more even cook. One of the challenges of poultry is getting the breast meat not dry, but at the same time getting the leg and the thigh meat to where it's a happy piece of meat and not going to sit there and be raw.
Yeah, there's two different kinds of meat on the chicken, so you got to make sure you get them both right. I've never seen this done this way. It's pretty interesting. So this has been around for a long time, obviously.
It's not the normal way of rotisserie for most people, but once you do it, you'll never quit. It just makes it a lot easier. So what we've done is we've made our chicken a little more stable. We're going to take our spit, and I've already marked where I wanted that spit, and I'm going to turn it. We're going to do the breast side first, and so I'm just working that down through the bird. And what we're wanting here is 2 prongs into the breast meat, and then we've got 1 prong over the back and 1 prong here on the belly side. We're just working that chicken down on our prongs. Then we're going to turn him, and we're going to add our second prong, and we're going to go into the leg and into the thigh.
So 2 prongs in and 1 prong above and below on both sides.
Correct.
Much more stable.
It's stable that way, and it gets the meat. So now when it picks it up, the rotisserie can spin. So it sets nicely. I like to do this and then season it.
So when you've got this chicken laid out flat like this, Jim, I imagine it makes the cook time slower. I mean quicker, right? Because you don't have to worry about anything. How much time can you save?
Most times you're going to do on a whole chicken about an hour and a half, not quite 2 hours. This is going to be done in about an hour and a quarter. So it does trim about 20% off of that cook time. So we've got our spit set. We're ready to go. We're going to season our bird. I'm going to take grapeseed oil and just make a light coat all over the interior cavity. And actually I lied. This is garlic seasoned oil. And what we're doing is we just want a nice coat on all the skin surface. Doesn't need to be a lot. And then we're going to turn him over, and we're going to coat the skin side over here. The wings set up pretty quick, but you can pin the wings as well. That keeps them from flopping around.
So now it's oiled up, so now we're going to use some dry rub on the bird.
That's right. Today we're using Tuffy Smith's Cool Smoke. Tuffy is a barbecue legend back east. Really good flavor. It's new to us. And he's got 2 different products. He has the Everything Rub, which is a garlic oregano, and then he has his barbecue rub. And the nice thing about spatchcocking, we can do half and half. So I can do 2 rubs at once.
Yeah, people like different rubs at my house, and then I got to just keep track of the chicken breast, which ones I did with which.
There you go.
Sometimes I mess up, but
most of the time you get it right.
it all tastes good.
And so on these, one's a little more yellow, the oregano garlic, and then the barbecue rub is a little more paprika based, so it's a darker red, so we can kind of tell. And it's not a bad idea if you're having that got to keep it straight syndrome. Write it down as to the
Which is
top
which.
side, which is which.
Yeah.
Nice thing about the rotisserie, it also lets you turn it and put the seasoning on very evenly. So if we didn't have our fire ready yet, put a sheet of something or a baking sheet under this and set it back into the refrigerator. And what you're doing is you're letting that skin just sort of air dry. That also helps to create a crispier skin. So that'll go back out of the way. What we're using today is Everdoer from Australia, their Fusion charcoal grill. It has an electric start. If I hit that, it turns on a starter. We're going to turn it back off because our coal's already running. But I put my cook grate in after I got everything set, so the bird's rotisserie. grill's hot, I can grill my peppers at the same time as I've been finishing my cook. So we cooked our bird for about an hour and a quarter, hour and a half, check internal temperature. We'll let that spin around, and I'm going to grab my thermometer here. Turn off the spit for a moment. And so we want our breast meat to be 165, which we are there, and we want our thigh meat to be 185, which we're there. So by doing that longer cook, you've got your meat with it opened up, the thigh and the leg pick up more heat, it cooks further, quicker, and the breast meat is lower and slower, so it's done just right. So when we're done, I've got a perfectly cooked bird.
And the peppers on there, those are 5 minutes, if that?
Maybe 10, yep.
Yeah.
Probably 5 minutes aside. The fire is not real hot on this. We want kind of a medium fire. So this is a little bit different. And voila, we have our chicken ready and dinner is cooked perfect. And we're gonna grab our peppers.
And how will we end up serving this chicken? Will you just cut it into regular pieces, or I guess you could shred it if you want. You could do whatever.
That's right. You can slice it, shred it. Any place you'd use chicken, you can put it in a dip. You can do it as just the entree. If you have leftovers, that dip works nicely. So it's just a matter of what works. But we grilled our pepper cut side down first so that we get that good char and sear on it. Turn it over, let them grill for 3-4 minutes. And then I've used a habanero cheddar blend that I've cut into little batonettes and little strips and added 2.5 to each one of the peppers, and it just sits there and melts down, and wonderful stuff.
As soon as those little cheeses are nice and liquefied, you're ready to go.
They're ready to go. Let them cool for a few minutes. We want our chicken to cool, same story.
It smells great. I'm so happy to be down here at Smoke and Fire instead of back at the station on Zoom. Remember, they're responsibly open down here, 151st Street and 69 Highway. They ask you to wear a mask, wash your hands, and they've got the sanitizer down here. Great Father's Day specials going on. Father's Day's late this year. It's not till next weekend, so you got a whole weekend this weekend, and you've got next weekend early to get shopping, and you've got a chance to win that 22-inch Weber kettle grill with the Jealous Devil charcoal. Just come down here and make a purchase. You can get yourself registered. They've got great prices on grills this next couple of weeks because of Father's Day coming up, and of course they've always got the great specials when you buy rubs. Buy 4, get 1 free, and they've got barbecue tool sets. If you're looking for something for Dad, barbecue tool sets are great to get that done. So that's going to be enough for me. Thanks for tuning in this week. Since I'm down here, I'm going to get a little taste of some of this chicken and these peppers. Thanks for watching Extreme Barbecue on Sports Radio 810 WHB.